trying something new today. Well, new to me, not new clay people. I am going to make some mugs that have an imprint or a decal, if you will, not a decal, but a molded out AK-47 rifle on them. So I'm just stretching out this clay here a little bit. That was close. Don't throw it on the ones you've already done. Let's see if I can get this. I might need a little more clay to do this. Anyway, I tried a couple different ways. I tried pushing it down in and taking off all the excess, but it was hard to get out without distorting it. I did it, but it doesn't look quite as good as the one where I left a little bit of extra on there. So we will do the third one the same way. Just thinning this out some. Come on, baby. That looks good. I think we can work with that. Just get it all worked into this mold. Leave enough extra that I can pull it out, ease it out without distorting the rifle too much. Push it in enough that I get the detail. Make sure over all the areas here. Get that magazine. Get it down in the barrel. Get it in the optic here. If I have enough, I'll do one more just in case I mess one up when I'm putting it on or something. Alright. Now let's flop that down a little bit. Let's get it kind of straight on the back side. Then we'll ease the mold off. And I've heard some people say to cornstarch the mold, but I haven't had any trouble with this sticking so far. So I did not use cornstarch. That worked pretty good. Good. Let's get some excess off of here. And I like leaving that excess on there so I have a way to join it to my mug without losing too much detail there. So I'm going to leave that on there for now. I can always trim it off later. All right. Let's see if we can sneak one more out of here. Pick this guy up. Move them over here. right. There's our 4 rifles for our 3 mugs. That gives us a spare. So we mess something up. I'm going to set those aside. And let's get cracking on our mugs. And I have 3 balls that are 24 ounces. And this is B mixed with grog. Let's get the chair moved a little bit. Okay. Stay centered. Come on. I'm going to put kind of a target shape in the bottom of these. Just for fun. Alright, let's bring this out just a little bit more. Too wide there. Just bring it in. Keep it towards the center. Okay. Now, whoops, don't stick your finger in that goof. That pull. that shape, but I think I want to give it just a little bit more distinction here. So let's bring the bottom out just a little bit. And bring this in just a little bit. Find this rim just a little bit. Okay. All right. Find my leather. Refine this rim a little bit. Nice angle to drink out of. Not too thick. And definitely not sharp. Alright, let's give this foot a little definition. What do we want here? I think let's use you. Okay. I was thinking about doing the rifle with a contrasting clay, but I didn't do that this time. Next time what I may do is use white rifles, white clay for the rifles and dark brown clay for the mug, or vice versa. We'll see. I can always do a contrasting color in underglaze. Okie doke, dry the hands off. Get the clay boogers off my board. Come on, hands, get dry. And there we go. One down. And I've got a little, I don't know if you can see it, I got a little bullseye pattern in the middle there. I know I live dangerously tipping that over like that. Oh, I didn't put my gauge on it. Oh well. Too late now. Can do. I can take my calipers and say we are this wide at the bottom. And all right. And this wide at the top. Let's see how high we are. Okay, what do we got on the side here? Get out of there. Oops, didn't want that with water. Some of it out. Good and lubed inside. Okay. Oh, keep the fingers where they're supposed to be. Come on. Focus. Control the clay. I think I'm a little taller than the last one. So, let's see where we're at. Yeah, just a little taller, but let's spread it out at the bottom because I am not as wide, I don't think. Let's double check. Alright. That definitely is not as wide. Almost. Okay. Just push this out a little bit more. Let's get some water on here. Clear sponge. Push it out and bring it up. Come on, keep your fingers together. Nah, you just went too thin right there. I knew it. Push that out just a little bit more. You know what I didn't do the last one was rip it off. I did sponge it off, but I didn't rip it off. So, Let's go down to the back, almost there. I hope not. Alright. Rib. Okay. And that tool. Okay. Sponge again. Smooth that out a little bit. Okie doke. And rim. The most important part of a cup is going to be the rim. Other than will it hold liquid, because this is what a cup is all about, is being able to comfortably drink out of it. Okay. Number 2. Let's see if we can move cup number 1 over a little bit without messing it up. here. Yeah, I know, you're not supposed to wedge on your wheel, right? This was already wedged once, but I've been digging into it to get the clay for the rifles, so I'm just going to give it a little quick wedge here and get it a little more homogeneous. All right, get our water here. Well, it's almost slipped now, but anyway, so let's get our clay wet, get our hand wet, and I think I want, I want kind of flat handles on this, and maybe I'll make them look kind of like a rifle sling. I don't know, that sounds kind of cool. I was thinking I could carve bullets if I did round handle, but I think a rifle sling would be good. I hope I have enough clay here, because this is the last of my B mix with grog. I have some B mix without grog. I've been watching a lot of videos online, and I have to say, the clay world is very generous. You have people like John the Potter, and Lindsay and Dylan, and Earth Nation Ceramics, Dante the Potter with Earth Nation Ceramics, Old Forge Creations. And then on Facebook, you've got Clay Share and Clay Buddies. We've got Glazy and Digifier, and just a ton of resources. People with all kinds of knowledge are so willing to share, and it's very what's the word I want to use, heartening, encouraging, it's a wonderful thing to see that people with knowledge are sharing their knowledge with other people who may even be in competition with them, but it's just such a friendly atmosphere. People share their glaze recipes and their glaze combinations, and I think that's all I'm going to get out of this. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 handles, so I'm going to call it quits on this one and clean up some of my mess here. Besides, I think the video is getting a little bit long. I'm going to have a lot of editing to do. But I do want to say thank you to all of the people that have shared their knowledge and helped me set goals, learn things, have the guts to try things, and have the encouragement to try things. It's just been fabulous. And I hope that my amateur videos help other people to have the courage to find things themselves or try things themselves. And it doesn't have to be clay. It can be anything. Just something you've always wanted to do, or something you never knew you wanted to do even. But life is full of opportunities if we look for them and take them when they're presented. Okay, happy pot lovers. I just tested putting one of my AK rifles on the mug here. And everything is still very wet because I just threw these. And so I'm going to have to come back later and clean it up, smooth out the rough edges. But I'm kind of happy with how they look. So I'm going to do a second one here. And all I'm doing is taking my needle tool and trimming around the shape of the AK. And I want to get in the delicate areas while I still have the clay. So there's our AK, and we're going to put it on here right there. Oops. Let's get that angle a little better. Right in there. Get the optic pushed in. And this is all wet clay, so I'm not worried about scoring and slipping. That's why I'm doing it at this point, and I will come back later after these get to the leather stage, and I'll smooth the edges in a little bit and make sure that everything joined properly. And I can go back in with a little bit of slip and fill in any areas that I need to. All right. Now we have one more to do. Let me turn the wheel around here a little bit so I can get to it. This one is probably not as thick as the other ones, which may be good. Number 3. Let's get that muzzle just a little bit pinched off of there. Okay. Let's put you right like that. Alrighty, that's number 3. Okay, so our mugs and our handles have been sitting overnight. And they're probably a little bit drier than I wanted, but that's okay. So let's get our stuff out of the way here. This is the mold that I used for our rifles. And let's take a look. I'd say 1, 2, 3, and that's our backup probably. Although that one doesn't look too bad either. Alright, so the question is, do I want to put this here so that when the person is drinking, somebody else sees the rifle? Do I want to put it over here so that the rifle is facing the side, or do I want to put it here so that when you're drinking you see the rifle? And I think the answer is I want to put it on this side. So what I'm going to do, other than put a hole in my bottom. And the way I wired these, I'm not going to do anything to the bottoms except sand them a little bit. I'm not going to be trimming the bottoms. I'll just thumb them off like that after they sit upside down for a little while. Because the bottoms are still pretty soft. They were on the mat all night. You can see the wet mark. Alright, so, gee, put the tool down so you don't stab things you don't want to stab. And this is going into the reclaim pile. Because it broke in several places, but that's okay. I figured it would be too thin. And I will experiment with different things on how to do this in the future. Alright, so now what I want to do is get from there to there. So I want to put here and here. So let's mark that. That was not right. I want here and here. And that's pretty straight up and down. Okay. Now, let's see how this goes. That, like that. That's out there pretty far. So let's cut it off. And I'm thinking we want it right about there. Holding it. What I'm doing is I'm holding it behind the mug so I can see where I want to cut it. So I want to cut it right about there. Might have been a little much, but we'll see. Alright, so where's my marks? Right there and right there. That actually looks pretty good. Okay. Now I want to angle this one a little bit. Get off of there, clay booger. Angle this just a little bit. Just about that much airspace showing, so let's just shave that much off. These can go. I'm going to reclaim. Alright, so that wood stove going, things dry out pretty darn quick. So take our brush and grab some slip. Come on, I know. Alright. I'm just gonna get these a little damp. And then I'll open up my slip bucket down here. think. There we go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right. Some good loopy slip. Get some slip on there. Get some slip on there. Get some slip on there, and some slip on there. Okay. This was the top because it's angled. Okay, stick it on. You know what? Let's see if we can go this way. Because it's wider at this end. Wiggle it around until it doesn't want to wiggle anymore. That is not straight up and down. Let's go there. And I probably should have come back last night and joined these after about an hour or two sitting. Would have probably been a better option. Because this clay got pretty dry. Let's see. Take some of this slip from here, put it in here, get that little space filled up. Also going to put some slip right around my joins on my rifle. Now that I can turn it upside down and see what I'm doing. And I'll go in there with a needle tool and some other things and smooth out the little few clay boogers. Turn it a little bit. So I wonder with this curved barrel like that, will it shoot around corners? What do you think? I had a post on my Facebook page last night, and I posted pictures of these. And she said, "That's a weapon." And I said, "Well, no, it's a mug. Unless I hit somebody over the head with it, and then it becomes a weapon. Until then, it's just a mug." And the thing is, a rifle or a pistol or anything like that is just a gun until you use it to attack somebody, and then it becomes a weapon. And as with automobiles, firearms are used properly, they have a definite use in our society. If automobiles are used properly, they're an accepted part of everyday life, but people misuse them every day, but we don't blame the car now, do we? So, why would we blame the gun if a person misuses a gun? And there you have it, folks. 3 rifle mugs in progress. Now they have to dry and get bisque fired, and then we'll glaze them. I have some ideas of how I glaze them, but I haven't totally decided yet. We will see. A little rocking on that one. Those two seem pretty darn stable. Okay. So I'll come back later tonight and smooth up these edges a little bit. Once it's set a little more and I can move it without getting clay boogers all over everything. So I'll update you next time.